All right, everybody, and welcome. All right, how's everybody doing? We are going to get started in about 5 minutes. So I'm going to speed up the timer here, which I just made time travel a little bit anyway. Happy afternoon to you. I am going to change up the presentation screen a little bit so it looks like a full screen there. And let me know if you can hear me all right. And welcome, and I'm glad you're here. Thanks for joining me. My name is Rob Booker. I will be your host for today's session. It is Tuesday, June 20th, 2023, and it is just almost, well, I guess 2 p.m. Eastern time. So, welcome to the broadcast. A few of you are already here, and I'm excited to spend some time together with you. Let me know that you can hear me okay. My name is Rob Booker. I am the host of the Millionaire Challenge podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And I'm glad that you're here. Today, we're going to do an informational introductory session about the Tim Sykes Challenge. We're going to look at some charts. We're going to look at some stocks. We may even get an idea or two that you can use before the end of the trading session today, which would be extraordinary. I'm glad that you can hear me okay. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for joining me. We'll be back in just a moment. I'm going to pull together some charts and some other stuff. So thank you for being here. We'll get started in just a moment. I'm going to turn my microphone off, go silent, and I'll be right back. All right, everybody. I am just working on a couple of things here. And downloading my trading platform. I'm using my Windows computer today here at my house. And I actually don't even have my trading platform installed on this computer. So I'm going to get it all installed and fired up and ready. Shouldn't take me very long to do that. And we're about 2 minutes away from beginning. Thank you so much for being here, friends. As you can see here, I'm installing a program on my screen. And that should just take a moment. And thanks for being here, everybody. Spending some time out here at the house. It's very hot in Texas, and I'm having the air conditioning system worked on. So, just real stuff going on. All right, here we go. I read the above notes. Perfect. And bug report, that's fine. All right, perfect. I am going to log into my platform over here on a different screen. There we go. Just typed it in wrong. See if that logs me into my trading platform. Oh, yeah, it did. Perfect. Oh, that's great. So hello, everybody. That's my live trading platform. Just up $181 today. Very, very minimal trading for me today so far. And I may be taking a trade on Vsig. That was a big mover today. So we're going to need to do a short locate on that stock. You might as well do it along with me. Thanks for being here, everybody. Let's see if there are any shares available. It is a tough stock to borrow. And at 46 cents a share. Well, certainly possible, but we're going to hold off on that for now. I'm so happy that you're here. Welcome, and thank you for joining me. Yeah, Vsig was crazy today. In fact, we're going to look at that stock. I'm going to break down how you might have wanted to trade that stock and how you could have traded that stock. And I can't wait to share that with you. If you're here to learn about like a trading strategy that you can use in your trading, then you are in the right place. So welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining me. It's 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. right on the nose. And my name is Rob Booker, and we're going to get into it. So we're going to talk today about what to look for in buying a stock, and we're going to use some examples from the actual charts. I'm going to bring the live market over on and into the screen right away. I'm not going to waste any time. You got here on time. Let's start on time, and let's have a great time together. So I'm just going to bring my charts over here. And let's see, I don't need to do it like that. I just want to, drop. There we go. Perfect. So I usually look at 4 charts at a time. And if you don't mind, we're going to continue to do that today just so I can keep an eye on a few things at the same time. But I want to center your attention and focus your attention on the lower right quadrant. And you know what I'll do? I'll put 2 charts up so it's a little bit easier to see and a little bit easier for us to talk about the current situation. VCIG was the big mover today. And many traders who don't catch the move will say something along the lines of, well, how in the world was I supposed to know about it? And by the time I found out about it, it already started to move in the quote unquote wrong direction. So how could you know about it? What can you do about it if you get in late? What are some ways that you can get in late on a trade like this? How are some ways that you can plan your own trades on stuff like this? I don't want you to miss these trades anymore. And that's what we're here to do today. So welcome to the broadcast. You're right on time if you're here right now. My name is Rob Booker, and I will be your host. I've been trading for 23 years. I managed $8 million as a commodities trading advisor for 7 years. Started the very first podcast for traders, 17 years ago or whatnot, as an internet radio show. One of the first YouTube channels for traders as well. And I've been trading for 23 years. I no longer manage money. I sold my podcast and my YouTube channel for $6 million in 2019. I did not get Joe Rogan money, but I kind of publicly talk about it because if you're wondering, like, why would I want to do this webinar and why would I be teaching you and what's in it for me and what's the ulterior motive here? I just want to let you know I'm independently wealthy. I'm not here to make any money off of you. I'm not here to brag about anything either. I'm actually just here because I love talking to traders, and this is the final week in which I am going to be doing informational sessions like this about the Tim Sykes Challenge. And that's because I've got other stuff going on. I manage my own money, and I work with a group of traders inside the Tim Sykes Challenge. So in case you're wondering, in case you've got your guard up a little bit because you've been to a webinar like this in the past, and maybe in the past you've been to a webinar like this, and all of a sudden in the midst of a conversation about educating you, they say, well, there's one secret I didn't teach you, and in order to get that secret, you've got to pay. There's nothing like that going on here. In fact, I'm going to teach you everything, and I'm just going to share it all with you. And if you want to use it and put it to work, great. If you want to stay in touch, great. And if you want to work together with me and Tim Sykes inside the Tim Sykes Challenge, that's great. But we're not going to talk about that. We're really going to just focus on the charts, and we're going to focus on getting you educated. And while you are pulling up your own charts and your own screens and everything else, what I'm going to do is grab a link and put it inside the chat box. I am not going to spend a lot of time. I'm not going to do any kind of sales pitch. I am going to say, if during this presentation today, what you hear is exciting and interesting, and you want to follow it up and do more of this, then you can click on the link that I am posting in the chat box, and you can book a call with me or with a member of the team, and we can work together on trading together with you. So I'm going to drop a link inside the chat box. I'm not going to say anything more about this. Like I said, I'm not going to do some kind of salesy, hypey kind of thing. I'm just going to put it out there, and we're going to get this started. So here we go. I'm going to get to your questions as we go. We'll talk more about that in a moment, but I first want to focus on, how do you trade a stock like Maria? Just kidding. Sound of Music reference. How do you trade a stock like VCIG? This thing moved like a beast today, and many people missed it. So what do you do? How do you find it? How do you grab this tiger by the tail? Well, this morning, me and the team traded together. In the early morning hours, we were watching our scanning tools on Stocks to Trade, on TradeIdeas.com, and several other places. And on our scanning tools, VCIG popped up as the #1 top mover in the pre-market session. It automatically moved to the top of our interest level, our interest. What am I trying to say? It automatically became the #1 stock we were watching. It wasn't the only one. It was the #1 stock we were watching. So automatically we knew that this is what we wanted to focus on. because it popped up in the pre-market session. That's the trading that happens electronically between the hours of 4 a.m. Eastern time and 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. We then drew a line across the pre-market session high, and that was at $4.60. Now, it took a long time to wait for it, but we were doing a webinar. In fact, do you want me to send you a recording of the webinar that I did with the Tim Sykes Challenge students? Do you want me to send you that recording? Give me a chat in the chat box. That's the best way to let me know. So I'll send you that recording. You can see how we set this stuff up. Because in that broadcast, I say like 47 times, here's the entry, here's the entry, here's the entry, here's the entry, here's the entry. And it's a really easy strategy. We look for fast-moving stocks to break through their pre-market highs. And that's exactly what it did. And then it jumped up and it stopped. Now, many traders, and I have been in this category before, miss that first move or second move, because if you didn't trade it pre-market, the market opens and you missed that one. Now you've missed two moves, and the question becomes, can you, quote unquote, chase it? And the answer is yes, you can, safely. Chasing stocks is like generally a negative thing to do. But what you can do is you can wait, and I want you to do this the next time you see all of this happen. The next time you see this happen, wait for the stock to print a negative candle right here, this red candle, and that says, oh, we've topped out. We've done the most that we can do. We've gone as far as we can go for now. And we draw a level above the top of those candles. And then we wait for that level to break. I know this sounds overly simplistic. I know it does. But guess what? This webinar is free for a reason. Great trading information doesn't actually have to cost anything. I'm here for you. I know that sounds wild in a world of selfishness and greed and webinars where they say for the low price of 1 trillion, no, I want to work together with you guys and gals. I want to build some trust with you. And the only way to build trust with you is to show you what we do, show you my live account, and teach you real stuff. And if I do that enough, and if you come to enough of these sessions, you're going to want to work together with me and Tim Sykes. And then we can take that next step. But I've got to earn your trust first. And so I don't have anything to gain here except your trust. So if this doesn't work for you, I'm not going to gain your trust. So think of it that way. I would never sit here in this position unless I had something which is working so well, what do you know, for so many traders that it just is so much fun to share it with you because I do it with absolute confidence. It's fun to trade when it's working. And if you want trading to work, you do the two things that we just talked about now. You look for the number one stock of the pre-market session that moved the most with the most number of shares. It pops up on Stocks to Trade, the Webull Top Gainers, pops up on Market Chameleon, all over the place. Finding the top stock of the pre-market session is like, I don't know. It's just easy. Looking for a dog in 101 Dalmatians. It's easy to do. When the stock broke out higher, it was big time, as Peter Gabriel would say. That's big time. That's a buy trade. And then it jumped up from there. And you can simply ride that. I know this sounds overly simplistic. Once again, you simply stay in that trade until it prints another bearish candle. And you stay in that trade until it finishes printing that 5-minute bar or candle. And then bada boom, bada bing. Thank you. We're done. That's it. It's over. It's complete. That's it. That's the system. That's the strategy. If you're struggling with your trading, and I mean this with all sincerity, stop everything else that you're doing and just trade something that works. I know that sounds overly simplistic. I know it does. Trading is difficult, complicated, and frustrating for as long as we allow it to be. Trading is simple as soon as we want to make it simple, as soon as we want to accept that. Now, in the interest of building some trust with you, I'm going to send you the recording of our entire session this morning. I'm not going to tie any, there's no strings attached to this. Live trading 6/20/23. Okay, so We did a bunch of work here. We did a bunch of stuff. This went on for 48 minutes. Let me make sure all these things are named correctly so I send you the right one. Okay, this is perfect. All right, I'm going to send you this recording. I'm going to do it right now in the chat. This is a recording. I'm posting it inside the chat box right now. That's a recording. Save that link. That's a recording of our live trading session this morning where we looked at and traded NUWE. I shorted that stock, so we made money from it falling. And we planned, and many traders in our group took a buy trade on VCIG. Does it have to be 5-minute candles? Yes. Okay, there you go. So Leo says, if VCIG, this is a great question, Leo. Leo just asked a really, really good question. Leo, are you here? I see your name. I'm here to build trust with you, Leo. Leo, would you be opposed to me reading your question out loud for everybody to hear? All right, here we go. Leo says, if VCIG is number 1 today, why was NUWE sent out as number 1 for the day? I didn't send out NUWE as the number 1 stock of the day, Leo. I didn't. I did not. I just taught you what to do. That doesn't guarantee that anybody else in the universe will do that. Got it? All right. So, Leo, I'm teaching you what I do. Other people will make their own decisions about what they do. Now, VCIG is moving now. Some of you may think, oh my gosh, is it moving a lot? No, it's hardly moving at all, and it's unimportant. VCIG will only become important again if it breaks above the high of the day, which is $11.33. Now, in case you wonder, is that going to happen? Is that possible? Yes, it's 100% possible. 1,000% possible. We just wait for it to happen. And you might say, well, what am I supposed to do while I wait? You can look for other top stocks of the day. You can catch up on your reading. You can do house chores. You can just put an alert on your screen, which is what I'm going to do right now, and you'll get an alert when it crosses that level. Sometimes we get so excited about trading that we force trades. Well, we're certainly not going to do that. Sometimes if VCIG jumps all the way up above the highs of the day, someone will say, well, gosh, we missed all of that movement as it went up toward the high of the day. That's true. But it's also possible that VCIG from this point onward will drop to $3 a share. And we do not want to be caught doing that. Now, sometimes someone will send out an alert or something like that, and they'll say, NUWE is the number 1 stock of the day. Let me show you how I would break that down and how to interpret, in my opinion, how you can interpret any kind of signals and any kind of stocks. NUWE made a pre-market high at $4.48. Today, if NUWE had broken that level, it would be a buy trade. Otherwise, completely ignored as a buy trade. Totally 100%, 1,000% ignored. Not interested. It has to prove that it's going to go up. Some people, like when you said, why don't we buy it on a dip? Why don't we buy it when it looks like it's bouncing? What if you bought and I know people that did. What if you bought NUWE on a bounce here? That's a terrible idea. How do we know that? It didn't break the pre-market highs. It just continued to drop. So in order to short sell stocks, which is not the topic of this webinar, Leo, I'll simply answer, just look up and Google short selling. And that'll start you on the path of evil. And that's a good thing. I love that. All right. So we've covered some ground already. Welcome, my friends. We've got 103 of you here now. That's the trading lesson of the day, what to look for in buying a stock with some examples. Now, we're not done with that. We're going to continue that conversation in a moment. Okay? So I'm happy that you're here. Welcome. Happy Tuesday. We are 100% live. My name is Rob Booker, and I'm really glad that you're here. I'll do my best to get to your questions as we go, as you have noticed already. I started trading in the year 2000, and I lost my first account. It was borrowed money. I lost my first account. It was a $2,500 account of borrowed money from my friend Matt Zagula, who went on to become a very famous financial planner, very successful and very famous. And he lent me money for my first account, and I promptly lost it all. I felt terrible. I felt despondent. And I turned to a friend of mine who was successful in business, and I said, do you know anybody that manages money that I could talk to? Someone who's an active trader who I can talk to. And my friend Matt was a financial planner, so he wasn't a short-term trader. And so my friend Terry Larson introduced me to a hedge fund manager in Switzerland. And I got on the phone with him, and I kind of did an interview, kind of conversation, and he told me that he would mentor me for $10,000. He'd never done it before, but he'd been very successful in the world of trading. He had 50 years of experience on Wall Street. He moved to Switzerland, still managed money. I borrowed this money from my friend Terry Larson. I paid this hedge fund manager to train me, and it changed my life. It was so worth it. I paid my friend Terry back that year with interest, and I paid my friend Matt Zagula back with interest also. I got myself on the right track. A few years later, I was featured after just a string of successes in trading, which was part luck, part skill. I was featured in the book Millionaire Traders. I went on to write my own books, start my own podcast, and start my own YouTube channel. I've sold all of that other stuff, and all I do now is trade my own trading account. And I'm working back up to getting to $5,000 to $8,000 a day in my trading, and I'm working very patiently, very carefully. And right now, I'll do between $500, $700, sometimes $1,000 a day right now. It's some days I don't trade at all. Some days I trade a lot. And some days I lose money too. So that's me. My name is Rob Booker. I'm pleased to be here with you. We started things off today by looking at the charts, and we will go back to those charts and look at those charts again. So thank you for being here. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned because we are just getting started. So I've been a trader for 22 years. It's now actually 23. It's time to update. It's time to update this. So I've been a trader for 23 years. I met Tim Sykes in 2007. As I mentioned, I started the first podcast for traders, one of the first YouTube channels for day traders. I'm retired. And I started working together with Tim Sykes in the Tim Sykes Challenge about 2 months ago. So I just, in the mornings, to put it simply, I trade my account in front of the members of the Tim Sykes Challenge. And it's great. We have a great time. I sent a link to everybody in the chat room to the recording of today's session. So hopefully you'll be able to take a look at that, and you can watch that on your own time. But I wanted to share that with you as a gift. Like I said, I'm not here to try to make any money off of you. I'm not going to be hypey. I'm not going to be weird about this stuff. I just want you and I to build a conversation. I want to earn some trust with you. And when I've earned enough trust for you to want to work together with me on a daily basis, then you can sign up for the Tim Sykes Challenge. And to do that, you'll do a phone call. And I've placed a link to schedule a call like that in the chat box. Let's just keep going, though. I hear from traders very often that they're struggling because they feel like they don't have enough money in their trading account. Well, fact of the matter is, there are 30 plus millionaires in the Tim Sykes Challenge, and all of them started with very small trading accounts. Some of them started with $1,500. Tim Grattani started with $1,500. The rumor is he's over $20 million now. He's the second most successful trader in the Tim Sykes Challenge. There's a billionaire from the Tim Sykes Challenge that nobody talks about, and he will not agree to be interviewed by me, but I know who he is. Tim Sykes introduced me to him, but he won't be interviewed. And he's actually a major investor in one of the Formula One teams. I know that sounds just absolutely wild, and it is. But traders who tell me they don't have enough money, they're not thinking small/big enough. You have plenty of money. What you don't have is a strategy that is working to grow that money. And I'm here to help you get that. Some traders struggle because they say they can't afford a mentor. My answer is you can't afford not to be mentored. Nobody learns how to perform surgery from YouTube, and nobody really learns how to trade from YouTube. It doesn't happen. You can start your trading journey in places like that, but you need to get a mentor, someone who will give you feedback on your trades. And then as you take more trades and get more feedback, you will improve. And we do that inside the Tim Sykes Challenge, of course. Some traders struggle because they feel like everything just got really complicated really quickly and they're lost. And my heart goes out to those of you that feel like that. And we're going to solve that. I think when we return to the charts in just a few moments, we're going to continue to solve that problem. So I want you to know there's a path. I want you to know there's a way out of the confusion, and there's a way to consistent success. And I'm going to show you, to the best of my ability, what that path is and how to take it. Now, for those of you that were here on time today, I already showed it to you once. And the thing about me that you're going to learn is I'm going to just keep saying the same things in the same way a million times. I'm not going to change my trading strategy tomorrow. I'm not going to change it next year. I'm not going to change it 10 years from now. It's how I built my wealth, and it's how I will continue to do it, and it's not going to break. There's days and times where it works better than others, but it's not going to break. I trade a proven system tested over thousands of trades in 23 years. I'm pretty sure that this path can work for those of you that want to give it a try. So will you give me a promise, just one promise? That's all I'm asking you to do, to stay until the end. If you stay until the end, I'll do two things. I'll teach you the strategy that I've already taught one time. And then what I'll also do is I will repost the link of that recording that I did this morning. All right, if that sounds all right to you, I'm going to take a brief pause here, get a drink of water, and I'll be right back in, I don't know, like 30 seconds. Okay. Hi, Sarah, and thank you always. It's always good to see you here. Sarah's already working towards working together with me and Tim Sykes, as many of you are. Thank you for committing to stay until the end. And yes, we will come up with a trade idea before the time is up. I've got some ground to cover here, some background to give you, and then we'll get right back into the charts like we did earlier. So if you want to know how the successful traders in the challenge are doing it, I'm here to tell you that. They do this. They trade a simple method on the strongest stocks every day with a team, and they get feedback and improve every single day. So imagine that. Imagine a simple strategy that you just put to work in just a few moments every day. You come downstairs, you get your coffee or your tea, or a beer, whatever you drink in the morning. You sit down in front of the computer. You get your jazzy music on. You get your charts up and running. You open up the webinar, and boom, just like this morning, you open up that webinar, and we're in there together. And this is what it looks like. This is the actual recording from this morning. And I'm going to silence the audio here if I can. And there we go. And here it is. I'll go full screen, and this is what it looks like. We actually trade together. We work on the charts. We plan trades. We open trades. And we set up the trade on Vsig. You can see it here at the bottom right-hand part of the screen. You could see it right there. We were setting this trade up and talking about it as it was getting ready to go. So imagine that. Imagine having access to a team of people who care about you, who trade a simple method in the same way every day, and give you feedback on the trades that you take. What would you be able to do? If you had a $1,000 account and you traded Vsig with us today, or just, using the strategy, if you had a $1,000 account, and it moved 100%. Let's say you just got a 100% move on that. Let's be ridiculous. Let's say you got 50%. So this stock moved from the breakout trade that we talked about a moment ago. From that level, it moved. Let's just say you got the 50% move from $4.67 to $6.27. And you just got worried and you jumped out. That turns a $1,000 account into $1,500 with a stop loss of about $100. So $100 stop, $500 profit target, nice risk to reward ratio. There you go. Would you like to do that every day? What would it be like? Would a $1,000 account be good enough if you had the potential to do something like that 1, 2, or 3 times a week? What if you could do something like that every day? Well, I'm not here to guarantee you that you're going to become a millionaire overnight, but I do this every day. This is exactly what we do. Now, the reason we didn't just buy Vsig, and there was somebody in the chat room that I had to mute them because they kept asking me if it was okay for them to buy this stock. And they kept saying, no, I'm missing it. I'm missing it. I don't want to listen to you anymore. I'm missing the trade. And they bought the stock. And I haven't heard from them since. You know why I haven't heard from them since is they bought the stock. It looked like it was going up and then it dropped. We don't play that game. We drew a line across the highs of the day. And this is not a buy trade until it crosses those levels. Sometimes I'll do a webinar like this and somebody will get upset with me and say, I thought you were going to give us a trade. Well, that's like saying, you know, if I bring over some seeds for a tomato plant and you get mad at me because in the 10 minutes that I'm there, it doesn't grow tomatoes. You can't make the stock market make a trade. People who are good at trading aren't magicians. They're just really patient people who wait for things to break out. Andrew says, I only have 900. Don't tell me you only have 900. Andrew, there's some people who don't have any money at all. You're doing great. Andrew, you got plenty. You're doing great, Andrew. Way to go. So that's one of the trades that we can look for. What happens if VCIG falls? It won't cost us anything to watch it. Doesn't cost us anything to watch it. It doesn't have to go up. And some days the trades don't come until later on in the afternoon, and we can simply be patient and wait. What we do is trade a simple method on the strongest stocks every day with the team, and we get feedback, and we give feedback, and we improve every single day. The Tim Sykes Challenge is a complete course, and it's also a live trading program to help you have more success in your trading. The reason that I'm here today is to build some trust with you, teach you a trading strategy, and then if you'd like to, we could have a conversation that follows up on this webinar, and we could talk about bringing you onto the team, onto the Tim Sykes Challenge team. You'll get access to the complete course and then the live trading program, and we're going to help you have more success in your trading. We do that through an online course that you log into and you can access anytime. And then I do a live trading webinar every morning, and you'll be invited to attend that webinar. And in that webinar, we set trades up, we plan trades, we take trades, we talk about the trades that we took, we strategize if things go wrong, and we plan out things if things go right. Do we move our stop loss? Can we try for more money? How far might this move? And we answer questions as we go. That's the Tim Sykes Challenge. Now, if you'd like to, I would love the chance to speak with you. It's not an obligation. It's simply, listen, an invitation, an offer. I'd love for you to set up a time for us to talk so that I can teach you a simple trading method and then trade it live with you on a webinar every day so that you improve and learn while potentially making money. If that sounds all right to you, you can go to the link that's in the chat. It's robbybooker.com/challenge. I'm going to post that link one more time here. Here we go. There you go. Takes me a second. I'm using a different computer. Rob Booker is cool, says Eric. Thanks, Eric. I think you're cool too. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's a nice thing to say. Okay. So if you want to do more of this, go to robbybooker.com/challenge. I'm going to race through that section so we can do more chart time. If you want to do more of this, hang on. Don't go anywhere. We're going to do more of this in just a moment. If you want to trade a simpler way and you want to have more success, then here's my offer. A free call to strategize about your trading future and to introduce you to our program for teaching traders. On that call, we can talk about your future as a trader. What's standing in your way? What kind of account size do you have? What schedule can you keep as a trader? When can you trade? How can we work together? Is it a good fit? Do you want to trade every day, or are you looking for something different? Are you willing to trade some stocks? Are you more interested in something else? And if you're interested in something else, I'm going to be able to point you in the right direction for some free resources to get that will help you on your journey. And if you'd like, you can click the link in the chat box now, schedule a time that works for you, and set up a call, and we'll talk about your trading future. We'll strategize, we'll make a plan, and whether or not you decide to work together with me, whether or not you decide that working together with me and Tim Sykes is right, we'll get a plan together, a blueprint. See, most traders do this. They look at a large number of stocks and they try to guess which one's going to move, or they try to force a trade on something that moved earlier today that's not ready. And they're inevitably disappointed when they pick the wrong stock or they pick the right stock at the wrong time. And millionaire traders do something very different. They look at a small number of stocks that already moved, like VCIG, that proved that they are strong, and then they trade the second move up. And this is exactly what we do. Now, I could show you more examples, which, sure, I'll do that. I'll show you some more examples. But I could also just go back foremost, and go back to VCIG and show you how this thing played out today, because I like using the live charts, and I like teaching you through repetition. You know, success doesn't come from doing something new and different. It comes from doing something boring and classic many times over and over and over again. So here is, starting now, a review of everything I said at the beginning of this webinar. It is a complete trading system with entries, profit targets, and stop losses included. Here we go. Okay, I'm just checking on my team, making sure. Okay, here we go. Making sure there was no other trades, and there aren't right now, but there will be later. This morning, VCIG jumped up in the pre-market session. For those of you unfamiliar with that term, the pre-market session is a time between 4 a.m. Eastern Time and 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. It's an electronic trading session available to everyone. You can trade it, I can trade it, we all can trade it. Robinhood, Tastyworks, Thinkorswim, all of them, E-Trade, everything. But we use that pre-market session to find out which stocks are set to move and moving the most. VCIG was the number one fast moving, highest moving, furthest moving, greatest percentage gain stock in the pre-market session. It went to number one on our list. Because it was number one on our list, we were able to draw a line across the top, the highest high that it went in the pre-market session. We also drew a line like that on BOF. You can see the line right here. We also drew a line like that on ICAD, right here. So that also moved. And what we do is we then plan a buy trade on a breakout beyond those levels. So later on, when the market opened and ICAD jumped above that pre-market level, it was a buy trade immediately as it broke through. Stop loss goes below the low of that candle that broke out. And our profit targets, there's two ways to do profit targets. The simple way is just to wait until it prints a red candle. Don't get out of it until it reverses. That actually works very effectively on stocks that are going to move a lot, like VCIG. The other way that you can plan your trades and your profit targets are by using retracements. So you can retrace from the highs that it made here to the low that it made when the market opened. And it gave us 3 profit targets, which it hit beautifully. And then it pulled back and never recovered. The reason we trade on breakouts is so we don't get faked out. We could draw a new line across the tops of the candles that made the high of the day. And I'm not going to buy this stock unless it breaks through those highs, period. I'm never going to buy this stock is what I'm saying. It automatically disqualifies this stock from further consideration. Makes it easy. We traded it together. In fact, when you watch the recording that I will post again later on in this session, you'll see me actually plan, see, find, and take this trade. Okay, next one, VCIG. VCIG was the number 1 stock in the pre-market session. It was also on that list of stocks. It made a pre-market high at about $4.59. We knew that as soon as it broke above that level, it was a buy trade. The stop loss could go below the candle that broke out, and we could leave as a profit target. We could stay in it for as long as it printed green upward candles. It stopped doing that, and we could take a really quick profit. Or using that retracement tool that we did, we could stay in it until it ran out of profit targets, which it eventually did at $10.45, which is more than a 100% gain. We then drew a line across the tops of those candles, and we're not buying it until it breaks out from beyond those levels, which means we may not buy this stock again, ever, maybe ever. There are some people right now, and you know this is true, who are buying this stock right now because it's a dip. Oh, they're doing a dip buy. Yeah, they're dips, all right. Don't get tricked into that. Buy stocks on breakouts that are proving that they're strong. Don't buy stocks on weakness. Everybody's got a different strategy, and different strategies can work for different people. But I'm telling you right now, if you want to get good at stock trading, Trade stocks that are doing exactly what you want them to do. Don't trade them hoping that they will do what you want them eventually to do. So BB says, what do you think about MGOL? Well, you could probably answer that question. I'll look at it, but watch this. You could probably answer this. MGOL. MGOL made a pre-market high today of, well, it didn't even follow, it didn't even get on a scanner today. It didn't move enough pre-market. It made a high of the day on the breakout on the opening candle. Boom, right there. And that was at $2.33. It later on broke above that level a couple of different times. You can place a stop loss below the candle that broke out, and we can use our retracement tool to plan some targets on that. And it has hit just about all of those targets pretty nicely. Kind of messy, but still broke through them. It now, just a few minutes ago, broke through the high of the day. It was probably going to go to, and it did almost go to $2.86, which was one of those profit target levels. All I have to say about the stock right now is it's probably done as much as it needed or should have done. And if it wants to, it's going to go all the way up to $2.86. Would it be a justifiable buy trade? Yeah, it would be. Yeah, it would actually be a justifiable buy trade. So this is the candle that broke out. Stop loss would have to go below that level. And the profit target would go up here at $2.86. Now, am I going to trade that stock? Probably not. It's because I'm in a webinar right now, and I want to make sure I'm concentrating on your questions. But that's a mostly justifiable trade. It's kind of, I prefer to take these kinds of breakout trades early in the morning, in the first hour or two of the market session. But this is a trade. This is what we were wanting VCIG to do. This stock is trading hundreds of thousands of shares per 5-minute candle. That's great. The biggest candle of the day was just a few moments ago. It had the most volume, and it's a bullish up candle. That's great. So there we go. So there you go. I'm not trading anything right now. I'm just sitting back and kind of waiting. And I'll be looking at the market together with my team tomorrow morning again for sure, and maybe for a few minutes later on in the day today. All right. Said everything there is to say. We've had a great conversation about a simple trading method. I've told you my offer is to do a free call to strategize about your trading future and to introduce you to our program for teaching traders. And the link is inside the chat. When you click that link, it will take you to a screen that looks like this. Strategy session, live webinar, Rob Booker. So I'm the one who introduced you to this concept. And if you'd like to, we can follow up this group session with an individual one-on-one conversation. No obligation. It's a chance to get to know you a little bit better and see if we're a good fit for working together in the future. Like I said, it's a strategy session. I'm going to ask you some questions, or a team member is going to ask you some questions about what kind of trading do you want to do? What are your goals? What kind of account size are you starting with? What are your obstacles? And then we can see if we're a good fit for working together. So you just click on the date. You can choose a time that works for you tomorrow. There's a whole bunch of sessions they just added. And that's it. And if you decide that you'd like to work together with me and Tim Sykes, we'd love the chance to do that. You'll have some work to do, but you'll have a real opportunity to make more money than you've ever made before in your life and have a lot of fun doing it. It takes some work, but it's worth it. So click the link in the chat, schedule that call, and let's see if we can work together. Thanks so much for being here. This was great. So I'll answer a couple of questions that came in. Trevor says, why do I use the 5-minute? You know, it just works better for me. That's it. It's like it just works better. When I short stocks, Trevor, as a matter of fact, when I'm shorting stocks, I actually use the 1-minute chart as often as the 5-minute charts to get a little bit more precision in the entries that I take. Jeannie says, better to get in once the candle closes above the high of the day. I don't like a candle closing above the high of the day. No, I like the breakout. Sometimes it moves so fast, so far, so fast. I want to trade on the breakout. Perfect. Answered the questions. We had a great time together, taught you a system. I can't wait to see you again on a webinar like this or on a strategy session if we have the chance to work together. Thanks for being here, everybody. God bless you all. Happy trading to you. Good luck. And I'll see you on the inside.